Located in LaGrange, Georgia, the Biblical History Center provides an in-depth experience of life and worship from 45 BCE to 313 CE. Though the name of the center is the Biblical History Center, all the information is presented in factual, unbiased ways. The Time Tunnel presents replicas of common worship spaces displaying both pagan and Christian examples, clearly showing how pagan worship was pushed out by Christian ideals. The Hall of Artifact replicas inform visitors about the very early accounts of written and mathematical texts. The outside garden astounded us with information about materials, food, and lifestyles of the people during the first century. My mom and I both love archaeology and sociology, so getting a 3D replica experience was wonderful to us, seeing as we can't travel. We learned about goat tents and how the water is absorbed by the fibers, then breathes in the heat. We learned about guard dogs and how the dogs were used from very early times in keeping sheep safe. Sheepfolds were common. These were spaces where the sheep would go in at night. That way they would be protected from predators.
Little sheep. The sheep. Yeah. Cool. Look in there. It's a inside photo. I wonder if they act out like the Easter story or anything right here on the stage.
They do guided tours.
Oh.
They just didn't have any today when I called to ask. This is Old Testament burial and the New Testament burial. We learned that in the New Testament burial methods, family members would prepare the bodies in the tomb. After bodies had been there for a while and only bones were left, bones would be collected and put in decorative boxes. We learned about the building process and the use of simple machines during this time period. We also learned about the watchtower and its significance, not only to watch over for protection against other tribes, but watching over the crops, the true nourishment of the people. We also found it extremely beautiful. In the last part of the outdoor tour, we learned about making grain, pottery, and the pressing of olive trees to get the sacred olive oil. This was used in anointing oftentimes. We also discovered replicas of underground silos. The technology during the first century was far more than I thought. This would have been a typical marketplace, bustling with the trading of goods and services, which would have been on a barter system before the invention of currency, which we learned about in an exhibit that was located behind this beautiful wall. The exhibit is on loan from the Israeli government, so no photographs or videos were permitted in that section of the tour. However, I do highly recommend checking it out. It was very informative and very cool being able to see artifacts from the first century. This is a replica of a first century house. I loved the openness, the windows, the way that the space was able to breathe but also protect. It did make me wonder how they kept warm in the winter, though. Perhaps those goat weavings came in handy. Ascending to the roof, it was evident that a living roof was part of life during the first century. I love how this trend is coming back into existence in our own lives today. We're seeing more and more agriculture incorporated into our architecture. Earth ships are becoming extremely popular. I hope to see more of this. This section would have been the barn. They would have kept livestock necessary for their survival in this space. Yeah, it's a balcony.
Well, you can serve breakfast in bed. Did you see that? Let me show you. And they serve you breakfast in bed.
I think it's just a window.
I like my idea better.
Right into the bed.
Right into the bedroom, breakfast in bed, right in the pass-through window. It's very cool.
I know this isn't our typical outdoor video, but I felt it was worth sharing. Thanks for following along, and until next time, happy adventuring.